You're ready to be premature all over again.
Wow, that's impressive.
Quick
bro.
reset.
Yeah.
Quick reset.
Last night was Ramos jizz.
Freudian slip. Who knew the job was pro bono?
I was so high that I shit myself at some point.
Okay, get still here. Somebody, everybody mute. Goddamn you.
My SEAL Team 6 with the SEAL Team 12.
There's nothing wrong with punching above your weight.
I thought you'd get better.
Well,
I don't know what's worse. You're a ginger or you've been vaccinated.
You sit around and drink and solve the world's problems, right?
Hey, let's go ahead and unwrap this present and let the debate begin.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I can't even say the Los Cuatros Jinetes are in the house because we are down by one. So what is that? The Tres Jinetes? Tres Jinetes are in the house. We unfortunately we are missing Haas this week. He is dealing with some issues, and so we're hoping that he gets better and he's on the mend quickly, and he will be back as soon as he can. But obviously, as we always say, that does not stop the train from rolling. The three of us are going to plow ahead. We've got a topic. We're looking forward to it. I am glad you guys are here. Thank you so much. As always, gentlemen, how's everybody doing?
I'm doing.
You never know where he's coming from. Right. You never know what you're going to get.
But it's always good.
It is. Always makes me laugh. I'm glad you all are here. Looking forward to this one. And again, we've touched on this, not in an episode, but we've talked about this privately off air. And so, we thought this one might be a good one to talk about. But before we do that, obviously, let's jump into our drinks. Grinch, you brought the energy. I'm going to start with you, brother. What are you drinking today?
I kind of forgot I had this, and so I'm just going with it. I haven't tried it yet. It's the Crown Royal Washington Apple RTD, or ready to drink.
Ready to drink?
Yeah,
you've mentioned these before.
Yeah, I've had the lemonade before, which I thought was really good. So I haven't tried this one, but what I will say is really cool that Crown Royal does is they add texture to the cans.
Okay.
Based on what's like the apple. You can actually feel like little ridges on the apple.
That's kind of cool.
Is it scratch and sniff? Tell me it's scratch and sniff. That would be great. Scratch the can, smell it.
So
That's apple.
Let me crack this open here.
That's just accessibility for people that are visually impaired. They can scratch the can, smell it. They go, that's apple.
Yeah, that's good.
What is it mixed with? Is it just the Crown Royal apple? Is that the intent there?
Yes, Crown Royal with like green apple, flavor.
It's a soda, right?
This one is lightly carbonated, very lightly carbonated.
Okay.
So it's interesting, just because recently, we've been going through some things, but with any drink, and I think sommeliers, maybe it's this way, but Cicerone is the equivalent within the beer world, which we started doing recently, the course to become a level 1. But you kind of start with like appearance, and then aroma, taste, mouthfeel, and then like overall. I may have missed a category, but that's kind of how you're supposed to like assess a drink, of like when you first look at it, what's the color, do you see bubbles and that kind of stuff? Does it present nicely? When you smell, like what hops out at you, well, hopping, of course, is a funny word to choose, it's the beer, but what smells greet the nose, which is why you have the different glassware for some types of beer, or in the wine, you're supposed to get a good nose
for the
for
even, the bouquet,
or like the sniffers, that kind of thing. And then of course there's taste, which bitter, sweet. Do you like it? Is it sour? All that, and then mouthfeel is something I've never had a good sense of what words to use, but it's like, is it syrupy? Is it thick? Is it thin? Does it linger in the mouth? Does it make your, like, if you have a lot of ginger, does it kind of tingle in the back? That kind of stuff. As
it should.
Yeah. But anyway, so green apple, and the appeal of the RTDs, of course, is to wrap and go. Simple, easy peasy. No mixing,
it's okay. It's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
What's the alcohol by volume?
7%. They
That's
tend to run anywhere from 4 to 9, depending on if they're, if they want to dial up the ABV, which can affect the flavor profile, of course. But yeah, I think the RTDs tend to be between 4 and 9 is what I've observed.
Okay, so just for mental note to yourself, because I know it's happened to you before, other people mixing the drink, when they're making a tequila and they have a pre-made tequila mix that has tequila in it, and then they add tequila. So you could use that as a mixer with more alcohol if you wanted.
Yeah.
Pick yourself up off the floor. Whatever works.
Waking up like, what happened?
What the fuck happened? All right, Mac. What are you drinking today, brother, now that we've got the ready to drink from Grinch?
Well, real quick, I find it interesting because that's the exact same survey I leave bedside after I get a blowjob.
Ready to drink,
mouthfeel, taste, presentation.
The bouquet, how did my balls smell?
Pineapple.
Most people haven't figured out
asparagus.
Most of them haven't figured out the mouthfeel yet either. So don't feel like you're alone on that one.
Gotcha. Moving on.
So I kind of went back around. I've done this one before, actually, here pretty recently. And they said, when I did it, they mentioned it is the drink of the summer, and I'll agree with that. I did the Dirty Shirley again. So it's the, grenadine, Sprite, and vodka. I doubled up the vodka, so we can call it a Filthy Shirley, I guess.
Because why the fuck not?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So a couple maraschino cherries in it. But yeah, it's pretty good on a hot day.
There you go. All right.
I don't know why, Mac, you just reminded me of a joke I heard recently, which was,
do tell.
What's the difference between an enzyme and a hormone? You can't hear an enzyme.
Yes. There you go.
That's good.
I like it. I'm going to be using that one here shortly. Oh, sweetie. All right. So you're doing the Filthy Shirley, huh?
I am. Yep.
You have the Shirley Temple, the Dirty Shirley, and the Filthy Shirley. I'm not sure where it goes from there, but maybe one day you'll find out. All right. I will round us out. I wanted to go with something more dessert oriented. So I found a recipe for a bourbon float. Now it called for vanilla ice cream. I decided to use chocolate ice cream because that's my preference. Because when it comes to vanilla, I want to add chocolate and all that shit to it. Like I just don't eat vanilla ice cream by itself. It's boring. So I went with chocolate, and it is 3 ounces. I use Buffalo Trace, 3 ounces of Buffalo Trace bourbon, 2 dashes of Agnostra bitters, and then you mix that up. You put 3 scoops of ice cream in a cup or in a Collins glass. Now you can't see it because obviously it's melted, but and then you fill it with your soda of choice. So I just grabbed a little soda, just Coke, and made myself basically
no cheer wine.
No cheer wine. I have not purchased that. I mentioned it the other day. My daughter's like, "Oh, that's fucking gross," and I'm like, "You know what cheer wine is?" She goes, "Yes."
I'll pick up a 12-pack and smuggle it across the border to you this in September.
She's like, "It's just cherry soda. It's just not a good cherry soda." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Sure." I mean,
we always knew she had no taste. So.
Throwing shade at the cheer wine.
Well, look, when Mac mentioned cheer wine, I obviously thought it was wine. You guys had to educate me on that fact, but she knew what it was, so that surprised me. So, so that's what I'm doing. Bourbon. I'm doing a bourbon ice cream float. So it's just the Buffalo Trace, the Angostura bitters, and then a soda, and then you pour it all over ice cream.
Now, I tell you what, I think that would be good with that Buffalo Trace bourbon cream. I know it's hard to find, but if you can get your hands on some of that, I bet that would be good in the float.
I'm throwing this out and starting over. Thanks for educating me.
Yeah, I mean, chocolate.
It was a statement.
You don't always pair chocolate with bourbon, so but you do find vanilla notes in bourbon. So I'm sure there's.
Well, I like it.
Okay,
that's all that matters. I like it.
Okay, you do you.
I wanted mint chocolate chip, but I don't have.
He typically does.
Oh, I just fucking slap that out of your hand.
Right here. Would you?
Gross. Mint chocolate chip is gross.
So you don't like mint chocolate chip ice cream?
Hell no.
I'm done. Get the fuck off my podcast. Really? I'm done with you.
No mint chocolate chip ice cream. No crab. No shrimp.
Andy's mints. Andy's mints. Do you eat like the mints you get? And ice and vanilla ice cream.
Vanilla ice cream. Yes.
And Andy's mints. You like them both individually.
individually,
but not together.
Ne'er shall the two come together.
I will fucking destroy. That is my all-time, and maybe that's a debate we need to have. Favorite ice creams or best ice cream flavors. Mint chocolate chip is my all-time favorite, I think, ice cream flavor. I can destroy some mint chocolate chip. Yes.
To each their own.
Yes, it is. Thank you. I start with some sushi, some crab legs, and then I finish with a nice bowl of mint chocolate chip. It's right as rain, brother.
You do all this barefoot, right? You go pick it all up
while in TSA. Absolutely. All right, gentlemen. Well, I say cheers to you, Haas. We will miss you.
Cheers.
Looking at a good episode.
Hope you're feeling better soon, Haas.
All right, let's go to work. So the topic for today, we thought this one might be an interesting one, is I don't even know how I think I do. We landed on this privately in a discussion because I mentioned certain types of YouTube videos that are hugely, wildly popular for no good fucking reason. But they are. And then Grinch, you said, well, if you look at this list of, I guess they'd be genres of YouTube videos that are wildly popular, right? That's what it is.
Well, because I had to find the article on on my computer. I looked specifically at how it was worded. This particular article is entitled 20 Most Popular YouTube Channel Types.
Right. So would that be considered a genre first and foremost? I would say yes.
I think there's some mincing of words depending on, like, if you said most popular channels, you wouldn't get this same list. If you said most popular streamers, YouTube streamers,
right, it'd be different. I get that.
It would be a different list. So that's why I had to go back and hone in on that channel types.
Okay. And actually, I guess we just answered the question right at the beginning of that very article. There are many different types of YouTube channels and videos with differing YouTube genres. With so many, it can be difficult to decide where to start. Now, your article was discussing specifically what type of channel you could start if you wanted to, and then listed out the top 20 most popular channels.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a little more informative in that sense of kind of like understanding the lay of the land in the YouTube world of what trends, what garners the most views, what's popular. I think was kind of the angle of the article.
Right. Now, I know you sent out an interesting statistic about YouTube as a platform started in, was it 2005, right? 2005.
With the first video called At the Zoo.
And how many views does that video have?
Actually, I'm going to bring that up right now.
Okay, you do that. Well, while you're doing that, I will keep talking to fill the air. And one of the things you talked about was, even though it started in 2005, it is a hugely popular 1.5 billion videos, billions of hours worth of videos are watched every day. And it is still growing. I think it said at a 20% growth rate even now.
Yeah, 1.5 billion active users every month. And that's what over 1 billion hours of videos watched every day.
Yeah. And I said something to my daughter, my youngest, and she said, apparently, if you take the hours of videos that are uploaded daily, you can't watch that in 1 year. Like, there's just so much uploaded in a day. It would take you all year to watch it, just the time wise. And it's like, that's massive in terms of how much time people are devoting to uploading videos.
Yeah. I mean, it's always interesting when you get those staggering statistics. Like, we've now played collectively Call of Duty as a human race more hours than humans have been alive or, existed or whatever.
Like, what?
So this video called Me at the Zoo has 238 million views, and it's only like 17 seconds long. And it's a guy standing in front of elephants.
And he filmed for 17 seconds. Uploaded to YouTube.
19 seconds.
19, okay, so less than 20 seconds. Uploaded it to that fledgling platform of YouTube, and it is the first video ever uploaded. That's fucking
crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And look at how far we've come. Billions of hours now worth of content. Now, I think in this group, and I will admit, I was never really a big YouTube guy until recently. And again, I don't know how much either of you, or Haas for that matter, I know it's not here, kind of delved into YouTube previously. Like, if you would, kind of experience a lot of content there. I didn't. I would jump on it from time to time and watch things, admittedly, kind of some train wreck shit. Like, I would watch car crash videos of like races and stuff like that, or motorcycle crashes. Not like those, almost like what were the videos? Faces of Death. Not like that. Not like where people died, but like, violent crashes and racing. Cause I do enjoy like Formula One and motorcycle racing and stuff like that. But I was never a big YouTube guy. And I think even if you cast yourself back to the beginning of our entire podcast, I think in the intro, there was a comment made from me in the intro about, we talked about gaming. And the snippets made it into the intro where like some people just want to watch YouTubers. Like I didn't understand people watching gamers. I didn't. And then Grinch, you were like, oh, well, you should really watch this guy, Dr. Disrespect. And admittedly, I was like, whatever. Okay. And then I watched him and I'm fucking hooked.
Well, and quickly touching on that, we should draw the distinction between YouTube, which like you, I was saying, until I got into video games that had complicated things to figure out, like Easter eggs.
Right.
That's probably what got me earliest, because it was so easy to see what they were doing in action,
and then
which
duplicate
was a lot easier than just sitting and reading like step 2, but streaming became a thing with other platforms, whether it was Twitch or whatever.
Right.
And now YouTube has evolved because you see the popularity of it. And the most obvious example you just mentioned there is Dr. Disrespect moving from Twitch because he got banned over to YouTube. And since then, a number of other streamers have followed him, but YouTube is now also a streaming platform, although that's not what it was built for.
Right.
So it's got some different tools, but yeah.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, it's also live TV now, right? I mean, they have
right.
YouTube TV.
Yeah.
They have really kind of grown from, a 19-second clip of some dude standing in front of elephants to taking over a lot of stuff.
Elephants. I mean, you weren't even filming monkeys throwing shit. It was an elephant. Like, how is that interesting? But so I thought the article was interesting in terms of the types of channels and just kind of combing down the list. Obviously, number one on the list is gaming. Now, a number of us do play video games. Like I said previously, I never watched, and I used to criticize because my daughter would watch, never played video games, but she loved watching gaming walkthroughs. And I'm like, why? Why do you do that? That's such a waste of fucking time. And then Grinch, like I said, you turned me on to Dr. Disrespect, and then Tim the Tap Man, and what is it? Mr. Waffle Waffle. Watch him.
Yeah, Z-Laner.
And it was one of those where I was like, I didn't understand the appeal till I started watching. Now, I will admit, my appeal for Dr. Disrespect is I love watching the volatile nature when shit just doesn't go right for him and the way he behaves.
Well, right. I mean, it's certainly a study in being entertaining.
Right.
And yes, it's a character, but, and that's how he chose to approach, was this persona that he takes on, when he's in that mode.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I mean, a sub, thread of this is interesting people who have found creative ways to continue to grow their market and be different and stand out. But
right.
Yeah, sorry, derailed you.
No, that's okay. But again, when you watch a lot of his stuff, it isn't, he isn't getting on like the channel. If you're watching the stream, it's not like he gets on, starts, and he's gaming 100% of the time. He is doing a lot of other things. And I will admit, like a lot of that, I'm like, I don't care about this. If I, it's like, I'll just let it run in the background till it gets to gaming. Because he'll be talking about stuff, but then he will get on with like a Z-Laner or Tim the Tap Man, and that dynamic it's phenomenal when shit just goes sideways. And so that's the type of stuff it is. It's almost like a car wreck, or it's why people go to NHL games to watch hockey fights, and they just fucking eat popcorn and watch the fighting, or you go to a NASCAR to watch a wreck. I mean, that's, for me, that's what it is. But as I scan the list even farther, number 2 on the list is makeup and beauty. Now, I'm like, what? Are you fucking serious?
You don't. I think.
I mean, look at this. Does this need makeup? No. I mean, clearly I don't. So it's like,
because there's no amount of makeup that's going to help that. So
okay, you say potato, I say go fuck yourself. Yeah.
It is. Well, it's interesting too. I mean, we can already see a pattern a little bit here, because with the gaming, it talks about how there's a lot of opportunity for sponsorships and ads that are related to the gaming community.
Gaming industry.
So now you're very much targeting your audience through personalities and otherwise. And with beauty products, you could see the same opportunity there.
Same thing. Well, and you, if you go into number 3, reviews and unboxing,
right?
I mean, that's pretty much the exact same thing. These people, which I never understood, watching somebody unbox a new toy.
Okay,
I'll just order mine and unbox it myself.
Kid?
Ryan's World.
Oh my god.
Yeah. He's a 8 or 9 year old kid. Started when he was 3, and I'm glad because I did want to talk about this. The kid is a 9-year-old kid. His parents run this channel. His net worth in 2022, he is 3rd on the list of net worth in YouTubers at $40 million. Yeah. I'm sorry. I apologize. He is 2nd on the list at 50 million.
Who's number 1?
Jeffree Star, net worth 200 million.
What does he do?
I don't know. I was trying to Google and find out because I know I saw his name somewhere. But it's one of those things. Now clearly, these guys are drawing, and Grinch, as you said, they're drawing income streams from other places. So Jeffree Star does makeup.
16 million subscribers.
And that's what's weird is you go 16 million subscribers, but it translates to a $200 million net worth, probably because he or she has deals from makeup companies and so forth, right? That's one of the reasons Ryan's World, this 9-year-old has, because I think he's got his own toy line at Walmart. And I was talking to my daughter about it. And so please, for all you listeners out there, do not quote me on this. I did not do my requisite research, but the word on the street is with this channel, the parents would go out and buy toys. Ryan would unbox them and have the natural reaction to what the toy was, good, bad, or indifferent. It was, is this a good toy? Is it not? Whatever. Then apparently they'd box this toy up afterwards, take it back and get their money back from the store. And so it was really it was videoing the kid's reaction to the toy. And was it a good toy? Was it something they'd want to play with? And I'm assuming people watch this because they're trying to decide, would I buy that toy for my kid? And I'm like,
Ryan's World has 32.8 million subscribers.
Right. So has double the subscribers of Jeffree Star, but wildly different net worth. Jeffree at 200 million, Ryan at 50. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So clearly they're generating income other ways.
And with the Jeffree Star, which by the way is spelled JEFFREESTAR.
Male or female? Curious.
Yeah, I don't know what pronoun this individual uses, but whatever. I just don't know what pronoun. But either way, last video posted 26 minutes ago has 17,000 views already.
And kudos to them. It's interesting that we're having this conversation, Mac. I don't remember what year it was. It's been a minute. I remember your daughter, little Mac, was like, I want to live in a basement and make YouTube videos. Like,
we bought a whole book on how to make YouTube videos. Yeah.
Right. And I think we joked at the time, like, that when we were kids, that was not a career option.
No.
And I don't want to devolve really, obviously from what we're talking about in terms of channel types and popularity, because now we are talking about specific YouTubers, but never in our wildest dreams as 18-year-old kids were we like, oh yeah, one day I want to be a content creator on YouTube and make a living. Like that wasn't an option when we were kids. And now,
well, because clearly YouTube didn't exist when we were kids.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, and I think it's worth, I don't have experience with this, but I would say the cautionary tale is this. Like anything, a lot of these people were either super creative, caught lightning in a bottle, or they worked their tails off.
Right. And
so it's like saying, I just want to go play in the NFL just because I really want to, I'll be able to. Nope. It's not how it works. It's just like going with being an actor or something.
Right.
You've got to find your way. You got to put in the work and then, hopefully reap the benefits down the line. Just being fucking lazy. And I'm not implying this at all with your daughter, because I've heard plenty of people, I've heard plenty of other people say like stuff like that of, my kid wants to be a streamer. I'm like, okay, what's the primary plan?
Well, so just on the off chance that she ever listens to this episode, she has pivoted completely. And that is no longer going to be her primary career. Thank God.
Well,
because we don't have a basement, which would be the first problem.
I just say that as like any kid
space.
No, I know what you mean.
Any kid saying, "I just want to," like you.
Well,
you
we all wanted to be astronauts and cowboys when we were kids, right?
Yeah,
so I get it.
Yeah.
But it is interesting again because that wasn't an option when we were kids, and now you look at it and people are making whole careers out of it. But yeah, this unboxing one, there's a individual out there that I actually follow. He's a tech guy, Marcus Brownlee. And I don't know if either of you have ever watched him. And he does a lot of unboxing, but it's all tech based. So he'll get like the latest phones, the latest cameras. Tesla has sent him cars and allows him to test drive the cars and stuff like that. But that's not the interesting stuff that he does that I watch for that reason. It's one of the things that he does. But I'm like you, Mac. I don't get the whole unboxing thing. Like, what? Having somebody open a fucking new iPhone 13 and show it to me? What? Why?
And I guess if they go through and do a full review, but you can't really do the review until after you've had it open and used it for a while. So yeah, like you said, to just sit there and watch somebody. Oh, it came with these headphones and it came with this cable. Okay.
Right.
Why do I need to see all that? But yeah,
you then have to do the follow-up because they do unboxing a lot of these guys. Marcus does that. He'll come back a week later and go, okay, I've used it for a week and here's what I think. Right. You are then tied to that follow-up video or it's useless because you're just looking at the piece of equipment. And so it's just like, I kind of don't understand the appeal. It's like the Ryan's World toys. Kids are fickle as fuck. So Ryan doesn't like the toy. Doesn't mean your kid won't love it.
Right.
So basing it on their reaction seems silly as shit to me.
It is odd.
It is odd. Just like, I'm going to let an 8 or 9-year-old kid dictate what I'm going to buy for my kid.
Yeah, and it's a bit of the right. It's a bit of those like, do you not know your own child?
Right,
you need some rando kid to
gotta tell you.
I don't.
It is the litmus test for your toys.
And look, we can go down the rabbit hole and go. That kid got no choice. Started when they were 3. The parents were running that channel.
Right.
Is that right or wrong that the kid didn't get a choice? But it is what it is. And is that kid benefiting from a $50 million net worth? Nope. But I'm pretty sure the parents might be. So.
I'm sure he will.
I mean, and I mean, obviously, he's made enough to where, like, if they were to lose relevancy and shut it down, they've banked enough to be just fine.
Hopefully. I
mean, that's the trade-off with a couple others. And it's interesting. I mean, there was a couple of streamers, and this is in the gaming world still, that I followed them when they first started because they were streaming or they were creating content for a game that I played that not a lot of people were doing. And I noted as I saw their subscriber base increase, and one of them quit his job to start doing it full time. And I found that really interesting. Like, I don't know why I felt like I'd been along for the ride, but just him posting a video about that decision was really interesting, because that's the other piece is like, you got to stay relevant. If you're going to monetize this and use it as your base of income, you've got to find a way to stay engaged and relevant.
Right. I think you have to have through YouTube, you can't even monetize. So you've had I think it's 1,000 subscribers. Right. And then there is all of the, this analytical and statistical data geared towards how much you can earn based on the views that you get for ad revenue and so forth. And I think for every 1,000, it's like $18 per 1,000 ad. I'd have to go back and look it up, but it equates to about every 1,000 views equates to like $3 to $4 in your video. So, obviously if you get 100,000 views, that goes up. If you're getting 1.5 million, or what'd you say that the first video had like 200 million views or whatever,
38 million,
so you figure $4 divided by whatever, times whatever to get that. It's, yes, you can make money, but
I'll take that residual income from one
right?
19-second video.
Exactly. But again, it's one of those things so there's the whole algorithm in terms of how to monetize your video. But the first thing, like you said, you have to land on something that's popular. So you have to pick the right outlet, and then you just got to put in the grind, and that's the only way you're going to do it. You can't be lazy and think you're going to make money at it. There has to be something to it. And it becomes a full-time job for a lot of these people, and that's all they do.
Yeah. And I think that kind of segues us maybe back to the list a little bit here, but yeah, I mean, it's interesting too. I was glancing at the list of top YouTube most subscribed to channels, and Mr. Beast started in 2012 at the age of 13 and now has 98 million subscribers. I think 98.7 million subscribers as of July.
PewDiePie, who is the number one most subscribed in 2022, is at 111 million. He's a Swedish content creator.
Yeah.
And yet he's got 111 million, and yet he is third on the list in terms of revenue that gets generated. His net worth. His net worth is third. He's behind Ryan's World, and yet he's got 111 million subscribers. So clear, and this is why I say clearly Ryan and the people ahead of PewDiePie are generating income, Jeffree Star and so forth, from other avenues. So,
yeah, I mean, the second most subscribed channel with 138 million subscribers is Coco Melon, which is nursery rhymes.
It's like, what?
The number one channel is T Series. It's not a personality.
That's in India. No, it's India. Yeah, they're based out of India.
Super Cassettes Industries Private Limited, doing business as T Series, is an Indian music record label and film production company.
Yeah.
Primarily,
yeah. Again, they're
Bollywood.
not an individual. They're
that's what I was saying. It's probably tied to Bollywood.
It's a syndicate. No, but it's not an individual. All right. So back to our topic. So number 4th on the list of most popular channels, and this is the one. Look,
it doesn't make any damn sense to me.
Gaming, maybe I can understand gaming, beauty, unboxing. I still struggle with ASMR videos, ASMR, autonomous sensory, right? Autonomous sensory meridian response videos. Now, the thing that bothers me about these videos, aside that they're just fucking wacky, is this is not a scientific thing. The term is believed to have been coined in 2010 by Jennifer Allen, who started a Facebook group dedicated to finding out more about ASMR videos or this phenomenon. The term quickly caught on as people finally found a way to reference this pleasurable feeling they had from experiencing it. And apparently it's videos that can be as mundane as spraying a water bottle, tapping, stirring a bowl of soup, crinkling wrapping paper. They have women that lick the microphone, and that's all they do.
No, I think that's a different.
You pay me, I'll do it.
To get that auditory sensation. All they do is lick the fucking microphone, or they tap on the microphone.
I'm still with you. I can do any of this.
Whisper into the microphone. Yeah, it's the weirdest fucking thing. But what's interesting is there's zero scientific proof to back up the existence of ASMR. And yet it's a thing. It's 4th on the fucking list.
One of the fastest growing niches on YouTube.
Right. And this is actually what started this entire topic, because I mentioned this to you guys offline before. And it was like, have you heard of this? And it's now, Grinch, I know you talked about it that day, that some of the videos that you watch, I don't think it necessarily falls into these.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But your videos are just as fucking weird. I'm just going to say that before we get to them. But yeah, this ASMR video stuff, I don't get it. I don't understand. It's tingling inducing it, and they correlate it to like a sexual response to the types of videos because of what it is supposed to trigger within specific, this specific thing that it does to individuals in terms of this tingling sensation. And it doesn't say it's supposed to be arousing, but clearly that can be an effect of these videos. Some people use them for relaxation and falling asleep, but I really just don't get this one. Am I the only one? I mean, Grinch, you seem to.
I followed the link to the most popular.
That was your first mistake.
I was just watching that girl too.
She's ASMR darling.
Yeah, she's just
2.53 million subscribers, and she's whispering about what her channel's about.
Right, and it's like, what are you doing? Yeah, crinkle the Coke can. There you go. And you're not close enough to the mic. I can't actually hear it.
There we go. That was ASMR. I'd like $1 million, please.
It's funny. I don't want to spoil it, but this reminds me of a line from the most recent Thor movie. He's like, I tried meditation. Oddly enough, I left angrier.
That's right.
This is tilting me right now. I'm not going to lie.
And maybe somebody that's into these would have to explain the draw, what it is.
I mean, you'd have to watch more of them, I guess, to figure it out. But
I'm looking at these little thumbnails, and there's one where she's wearing all those little hands on the ends of her fingers.
Oh yeah,
tiny hands.
Yeah, and these are like this one's like 4 hours long.
Oh my god!
And they're doing the same thing throughout the entire. Look, maybe it's akin to, Netflix does it every year, right? They put out the fire at Christmas, the fireplace, and it's just the flames, the crackle. I think it's kind of akin to that type of thing where it's just an hour of the fireplace and you hear the crackling. And
was, okay, so if you don't have a fireplace, you can put that on your TV at Christmas time and get that ambiance.
Stephen Novella.
That's what this is.
Yeah, Stephen Novella, a clinical neurologist at Yale University School of Medicine, suggests a potential scientific basis for the experience in a post on Neurologica blog. Perhaps ASMR is a type of seizure. Seizures can sometimes be pleasurable and can be triggered by these sorts of things. ASMR could just be a way of activating the pleasure response. And that's where they talk about kind of this connectivity almost to sex, and that people will react a certain way to these. But I'm like, no, I don't get it. And like you, like I have watched some of these things, people tapping on the mics or whispering into the mic or crinkling paper, and I'm watching it and I'm like, an hour of this? No. How the fuck is this the fourth most popular type of channel? I love the head shakes. You're both like, I don't get it either. I don't know.
Well, I'm sitting here and all she's doing is tapping her fingernails on a glass jar.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, seriously?
like I said with the meditation, how is it I'm getting angrier right now?
Exactly, right?
I mean, it's, I don't get it. But yeah, if somebody please, if you want to reach out to us and drop us a line at our email or our website, I don't care. Please explain to me if this is something you're into. Simply one question, why? And what is it about it that attracts you to these types of videos? Because I simply don't get it. And I don't think it's that I'm disconnected. I don't think it's, oh, well, you're old. You're a boomer.
I mean,
go fuck yourself. But
I also can't explain the WWE at 8 with 89.4 million subscribers.
All right, let's move on down our list.
Hold on, what was that one?
WWE at 8.
You do live in the South, right? You're telling me you have trouble understanding that one.
I know.
I'm sorry, man.
I just
World Wrestling Entertainment.
You don't want to understand that.
But you get it.
That,
All right, number 5 on the list is vlogging, video logging. Okay, so this one at least I can understand, right? This is people kind of living their lives and filming it. Is it interesting? I don't know. And I do follow Casey Neistat, who is a very popular YouTuber that does a daily vlog. But he is also, in terms of content creation, he does a lot of stuff in terms of marketing. He's worked with Nike and some huge players, Mercedes. So, I do get that to a certain degree, but I can't sit and just watch somebody. Hey, here's Monday, here's Tuesday, here's Wednesday. I mean, I don't care what you're doing in your daily fucking life. Not that much. If you put out something interesting, fine, but I'm not going to watch you every day.
That's to me, that's akin to the people that, post pictures of the food they're about to eat on Instagram.
Yeah.
I don't see the point in that. It's just fucking eat it and enjoy it.
Mac, have you ever seen those things on Instagram where it's like a guy and his girlfriend sitting down and she's going to take pictures and he goes to take a bite and it turns into a fucking fight?
Oh, I haven't seen that yet, but
like people will get pissed off if you fuck with their food right before they go to take a picture.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like they take that shit seriously.
Living your life through the lens of a camera.
Yeah.
And you know how I feel about that.
Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. I saw one Instagram video, this guy and his girl, they're sitting at a bar and they've got their food and he goes to take a bite of the food while she's trying to film it. She picks up the food and throws it on him. She
just bought her own dinner and ride home.
And when she walked out and everybody is staring at him and he's just like he didn't know what to say. And it was just like, really? You take the shit that fucking seriously? Grow the fuck up and get the fuck on.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Yeah, I can't I'm not interested to watch somebody live their daily lives, as Matt.
Yeah, like you said, if something exciting happens to you on a particular day and you happen to catch it,
right? Like a Tool concert. Absolutely.
What a great example.
Right. Number 6 on the list, health and fitness. Grinch, is this a thing for you?
It's not, in the sense that on the regular, but when I was still in the Army, our strength and conditioning coach, the app we used would embed links to videos that would show the proper technique for an exercise, which I thought was really helpful, especially when it's an exercise like I've never freaking heard of before. And I'm just like, what am I supposed to be doing? I can see the appeal. I think I can also see with, exercise and fitness, the appeal of feeling like you're connected to a community like that of, if it, like we said, if it charges your batteries,
right,
and gets you engaged. But yeah, I've used it for those types of things, or if I needed to understand if somebody was going to explain like a keto diet, or something like that, I could see the use of it. But it's more dive in as needed as opposed to visit on the regular or subscribe to anything.
And Mac, please don't think I was trying to insult you by not asking you if that's your bread and butter. I don't want you to think that, because I go, hey, Mac, are you into health and fitness videos? Mac, are you into health and fitness videos?
No, I mean, to Grinch's point, right? I mean, I'll hop in there occasionally, if I'm looking up something and I want to know about it. But I have watched a couple, and done kind of like the whole routine. But it's not something that, I would do on a daily basis, probably. Right. I should maybe.
Anybody want to put some money on whether or not Haas dives into those regularly?
I bet he does.
I bet he does. I'm sure he does. I'm sure there's probably people he follows in terms of health and fitness. I would probably almost guarantee it.
Probably Lou Ferrigno.
Well, that was okay. I don't know where that came from. The Incredible Hulk, but sure. Pranks and challenges, number 7. This is also not one I really watch. Do either of you? I know you like watching comedy and stuff like that, but pranks and challenges, no, it's like the Jackass type thing.
Yeah, not my jam either.
No. Now I have seen ones where it's like shit that goes wrong. Like people go to prank somebody else and then they get their ass beat. Like I've watched that type of thing.
And I know we're going to get to this category, but that's probably more where I reside, which is in the compilations, like Fail Army, and that kind of thing where.
Oh, not porn, not porn compilation. You're
not on YouTube.
No, not squirting compilations.
No.
Mac,
also
not okay.
Also not my jam.
Not your jam. All right, so we can just.
Yeah, I mean, the constantly pranking people and being annoying like that. Those videos turn me off pretty quick. I don't know that that's the case for this particular guy, Roman Atwood, who they list as one of the top,
right.
Followed
viewed
YouTubers.
Yep.
15.5 million subscribers.
I mean, he's clearly doing something right. Shit. Now we definitely get to one here that I think Grinch falls into, and that's music.
Yes.
Music.
No, real quick. I want to circle back real quick.
Where we going?
I think we all definitely fall into music, so we'll talk about that one for a little bit. But under pranks and challenges,
yes, sir.
Because I was kind of scrolling through the list. Do you think, and we've watched them, right? The kind of ridiculousness type videos, right, of somebody trying to do something that they think is going to be really, really cool, and they epically fail. Because I do watch those, and I don't know if that would kind of fall into this same category or if it would fall somewhere else, maybe.
But I guess that was the question. Is it one person in particular you would look to for that content, or are you just looking for like compilation videos?
Yeah, like, are you talking like ridiculousness with Rob Dyrdek, like that type of thing?
Yeah,
like I've watched.
And,
that.
We've sent him back and forth, right? The guy, trying to ride his, mountain bike over something, and flips
There's
over
a tree.
Hits a tree and breaks his shoulder or something.
Yeah, 1,000%. But I'd put that under number 15 for me, which is compilations.
Okay.
Because sometimes they're standalone videos. Sometimes they're like this month's greatest fails, or whatever.
Right.
I mean, that's me. That's how I think of it.
Okay.
Hold on, real quick.
But I don't follow anybody in particular.
No, and I don't either. Right. It's when people send them to me, or if I'm just out kind of I'll type in epic fails or kills himself on mountain bike or something.
Okay, so real quick, we're gonna take a pause. Grinch, I'm gonna show this to you because were you able to open that Instagram?
I wasn't.
Okay, hold on. Here we go.
Oh, video through video.
Wait.
Yes.
And that's why I said falling into Monday like that.
Yes. I love that kind of stuff. I sure do.
Yeah.
And I think Max said like, ouch. I mean, yeah, that was hysterical.
Yes.
And you do send those out sometimes like rolling into the weekend, or falling into the weekend. Yeah. And there are like those one-offs. Yeah, absolutely. They're funny, right? Because you're not expecting them. And then, it's a ladder and then boom, somebody just plants themselves on a ladder. But yeah, I don't just sit and watch hours of that shit. But then maybe I don't do that really with anything. You could?
Oh, I could. Yeah.
Okay. That's why I send you those one-off mountain biking videos where a guy comes up over the hill and there's a tree.
Or the guy playing football and he's running out, for a pass. And all of a sudden, a car comes out of nowhere.
Boom.
It's the defender.
That's right.
Just, flips over the top. I could watch those for,
Or the one you sent where the kid went flying through the wedge. He was doing the kick return.
Yes. Look, there, and for me, there is a certain place for those. But again, as a channel to stand up,
to my heart.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So, all right, music. Let's jump into music because again, I think we all love music. We are aficionados of music. How many of you watch music videos? Like Grinch, I know you're a big fan of concerts.
Yeah, not as much. I would put it probably on the bottom of the scale of the frequency.
Okay. Because
occasionally, I'm curious to see how they what they wanted you to visualize and think about with the song.
Right.
But now I'm definitely with the proliferation of people at concerts or professionally covered that they edit so you can effectively see the entire concert. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Mac, what about you? If you're doing music, what do you do?
Yeah, no, I'm looking at I may not sit down and watch an entire filmed concert, but I'm looking at clips of concerts. And occasionally I'll go back and, watch like a video of a song that, kind of takes me back to that place in time. But yeah, I'm not typically seeking out music videos per se.
And it's interesting because concert footage, Mac, I just want to point out, who gets that concert footage? People like me that, take their camera and they film it. And that's what helps you get to watch it. No, don't start bringing that into the equation.
I'm not watching videos of some dude on his cell phone camera with people walking
cameras doing this shit.
Yeah.
And I will say that's the evolution, right? Is now I'm getting all snooty about if it's a good video
quality, right?
Yeah, because I'm exactly like, this audio sucks. I'm like, I don't give a shit if you were there.
Yeah.
If I come across something like that I can tell is just some dude filming with his camera, I move on.
Yeah,
because it's going to just annoy me. I think the sound quality's bad, the video quality's not great.
Right, and now I will admit, for me, as a child of the '80s, I was a huge fan of MTV back when they played videos. I'd stick a VHS tape. It was like when you had your boombox with the cassette tape, right? And song came on the radio, you recorded it. I would do the same thing with VHS tapes. Like I had just VHS tapes of music videos that I would record. So I do actually watch music videos on YouTube because I don't know where the fuck you can even find those anymore. Does MTV even make a video channel anymore?
Well, yeah, no,
I think they do. But...
I was going to say to that comment, it's the kind of thing like I'd love to have on in the room while I was doing other stuff. But if I'm going to YouTube to look up music, the video isn't the thing I'm looking for first.
Gotcha.
And admittedly, maybe some of that is because I've drifted so far away because MTV stopped being a music television channel, and that's always just pissed me off to no end still to this day.
Right.
Because I mean, like all of us, I used to love watching videos all day. You just have that channel on, you kind of be doing things, and all of a sudden you'd hear a song like you really wanted to see, you come zipping back. And the downward spiral started when they do their countdowns and they play like 30 seconds of the song.
Right.
All right, at number 8, I'm like, then play the damn song. And then they would just jump to like 7, and then they'd have 13 commercial breaks before they played one, and they drag a 10-song show out for an hour and a half.
What was it? MTV, TRL, Total Request Live.
Yeah,
Request
yeah,
Live.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a different world we live in, because when we were coming up as kids, MTV was a huge thing in terms of like, you couldn't find videos anywhere else. You had to go there.
Yeah.
It was the only place you were going to see music videos. I mean, you had VH1, but...
Well, and it's interesting that, even VH1, what the fuck,
It's
behind the music
thing, yeah.
Like pop-up videos was fun, right? Seeing the
you
little
got all the
facts
little
and stuff.
Right,
and,
about the video.
But, not only did they drift away from the music, then they started cutting it, and then they started only playing the same songs over and over, and then it was like they just chipped away over and over again at the thing that made it unique. And I'm sure there was executives steering it, but it is interesting to hear some of those DJs on like Sirius XM nowadays. On like the 80s channel or the 90s channel, and hear them talk
Alan
about
Hunter and Martha Quinn and
Ricky Rackman,
Headbangers
Ball.
TV raps.
But I would say outside of, again, like a gaming, a Dr. Disrespect, Tim the Tap Man, Z Laner, music would probably be the other one that I would. But again, for me, that's mostly videos. Now, you will send out concert footage. I will watch it. But I don't tend to go looking for concert footage, mainly because I have it on my phone, Matt, because I film when I go to concerts. So I don't need to go to YouTube. All right. Number 9 on the list, parody and comedy. So I have to imagine, like, I know you both watch stand-up comedy. Do you guys follow comedy channels? That's a no. You both side.
Again, I don't necessarily follow any specific comedy channel, but like I love to go out and like watch clips of like the Comedy Central roasts of different people. I find those just hysterical and fascinating. So
yeah, I mean, I think for comedy nowadays, with Netflix having moved into such a prominent role of comedians between the XM channel on their platform and their YouTube channel, like that, there were over the years a couple of channels that actually I'll use a great one, SEC Shorts.
Yes,
those guys are hilarious, guys and gals. Like, they're hilarious. Like, that's one I absolutely follow when football season's in full swing.
Every week we're sending those out.
Back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise broad, just like comedic skits and stuff. I don't really follow anybody anymore. It's more, I try to remember a skit I've seen before, and then I got to hunt it down.
Okay.
Wasn't there one that was like College Humor? I think College Humor was a channel.
Yes, College Humor. And there are a couple of skits off that I really enjoyed. I
mean, they were funny as shit. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
I don't know why. I just didn't find myself like waiting with bated breath.
Hung up on it, right?
Yeah.
But again, like you mentioned, SEC Shorts, you're only doing that for part of the year, because after that, right? There's no SEC football.
They actually did put out a video recently. I just
did they?
Yeah, it was auditions to join the conference. I just haven't seen it.
I haven't watched it yet either. Yeah, I saw it pop up there.
And then number 10 on the list. Now, I will admit, this is probably one that I do watch simply because of my profession, and that's tutorials.
So I think 10, 11, and 12 to me, to some extent, almost kind of make up one large
mirror
chunk
themselves,
of
right?
The same thing. Yeah.
I agree.
Now, what's weird is they mentioned TED Talks and educational, but I don't go to YouTube. I just go to TED. I go to TED Talks, like they have a website,
right?
And I go there to watch the videos. I don't go to YouTube, but clearly people will.
What's funny to me about TED Talks is I really enjoyed the TED Talks when they were a little more freeform,
right?
But they're so scripted now that they're like these perfect presentations, and I feel like something's lost when they're wired that tight. I don't know. It's just me.
Right. You like it to feel a little more free flowing,
conversational,
right?
Extemporaneous, yeah. It is interesting though. Under 10, that second sentence, YouTube is the second most popular search engine in the world, second only to Google. And of course, there's so much crossover, and I'm sure the algorithm of what's there, but that's really interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, but you don't think of YouTube as a search engine, do you?
No,
and yet it is, because you are on there searching for videos. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you're going in and you're typing in Rammstein, and that you just searched it, right?
Yep.
So technically
and nowadays I get about 2-3 letters in and it's already populating it to the top,
Yes, Grinch, we know what you're looking for. Here we are.
That's right. And this is why I'm back again.
Yeah. I do a lot of that again because of my profession with graphic design, animation, film, and video. So I will look up for work purposes. Like if I'm like, I want to learn how to do something, or I'm trying to be, do something creative, stepping outside the box, I absolutely will go and look for stuff there so that I can apply it to my profession, or even applying it here. But yeah, so I would say tutorials, how to DIY. I'm assuming that's home based, things like that. Man, that's just trial and error. Give me a fucking hammer.
No,
I'll knock down a wall. I don't need to watch fucking videos.
I spend 11 is probably where I spend a lot of my time.
Really?
If I'm on YouTube. Yeah. I mean, I've, fixed a dishwasher.
How to change a water pressure gauge, or what was it?
How to swap out a water pressure valve. Or a pressure regulator valve. How to, how
to repair the ceiling in your kitchen and get it painted finally. Is that a video you've watched?
Yes, it tells you to hire somebody. That's what it tells you. The power control module in a car. I mean, you can find all sorts of stuff that is very easy to follow.
That's what I was just about to say. That's the crazy thing. You can find anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Because you're like, there's no way somebody's created. Oh my God, here it is. Actually, there's 5 of them.
Exactly.
It's just, that's what blows my mind. You could be like, there's no way this random cut from a TV show in the 80s is on there. Yeah. Fuck, here it is. Like, damn, that's amazing.
I bet Haas has been like, how to convince your spouse to do anal.
I bet you if you hit YouTube, you can find a video that will
probably can
how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably an Asmir video and they whisper it to you.
Yes.
So remember, your algorithm will be forever unclean.
Yes. Do it in incognito mode.
That's right. That's right. And so you said 10, 11, and 12 tutorials, how to, and educational kind of mirror themselves.
Yeah.
13 commentary. Book reviews, movie reviews.
Yeah, I don't probably go out there because, again, I think Grinch touched on this before, right? Just because you didn't like something doesn't mean I'm not going to like it.
Right. You kind of have to evaluate it for yourself.
Yeah. I will say, I think the one area that, it appears, if it's a movie review, I guess this would fall into this category, is I watch a fair number of videos that do like Easter egg breakdowns from the Marvel movies, because they do all that work and they reference comic books going back to the 60s and they splice it all together in this very digestible package.
Succinct.
And most people don't understand it.
And, because I'm just watching the movie. I'm not trying to put that much brain power into, oh, that little thing in the background, or, oh, did you notice he said this, So that stuff I do enjoy, just particularly because the Marvel universe is just
so
they
extensive.
Put so much in to every movie that connects in some way or is trying to, make a point or whatever. I don't know that movie reviews, book reviews, all that. No.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever listened to a video or watched a video about a book review. I mean, it seems counterintuitive to begin with.
I mean, I've watched videos of unpacking Prometheus, or things like that. Because it's kind of, with nobody else to talk to, it's interesting to listen to that kind of stuff of like, hey, what do you think this scene was about? Like, that stuff's interesting to me. But just in general, reading or watching a bunch of movie reviews, that's why I give it a B. Like, okay, whatever.
Right. Did either of you in the 80s, and I did either of you in the 80s ever watch Siskel and Ebert?
Nah.
No?
I don't think so.
Oh, I did, man. Because it was always like when movies were coming out, I would always go on and watch Siskel and Ebert and be like, okay.
Well, I will say back then it was a little different, and then they would kind of cover everything coming out on like a horizon, right?
Right.
It usually wasn't one movie. They would kind of
They would cover whatever the week's movies were coming out.
Yeah.
On that release date.
So I think that's interesting that they would do that, or like that. I found that interesting at the time, but I haven't in quite some time.
No. Yeah. Sports channel number 14.
What's it? 14.
Require one thing: a sporting talent. You may be quite funny though and still get away with it, but the sporting ability is normally a prerequisite. I don't know if this falls into it. And I think this is probably number 15 compilation, Grinch, because I have gone on seen college football's hardest hits, right? That's going to be a compilation, I assume. That's where that's going to fall.
I think so.
Straight sports, no, I don't watch that shit. So
I mean, I've gotten to where I can barely listen to even any commentators nowadays anyway, because they're so opinionated.
yes.
You know, they just know it all, and they're so arrogant with the way they present their position. Yes, this is also niche for me of like, you know, for a while I was watching like how Bama fans reacted to week 13, you know, which maybe is sports, and maybe SEC shorts falls into that category.
Not comedy.
I was going to say, but the comedy is what brought me there. So I guess I'd put it in the comedy channel.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
just watching recaps of games and shit now.
No.
well, and they list out Dude Perfect right there in that, and that is one that I will watch a lot of their videos. I don't necessarily follow them, but if they come up, or if I'm looking for something, I do enjoy a lot of theirs because again, it is the humor.
What do they do? They like go to games and stuff?
No, they I mean, some of the ones I've seen, they go out and they, capture like the different, they kind of, mock the different types of golfers or the different types of, pickup basketball players.
Gotcha.
And I'm sure they have a lot of other stuff out there too, but
Dude Perfect stereotype.
I have to check that out.
Oh, well, the video posted one day ago with 3 million views is Bucket List World Cup.
Sweet. I'll have to check that out. I like it. Yeah, I do watch is it Funny Main? Does the Alabama
Funny Main, yeah,
Funny Main. Compilations. So here's another one. Grinch, like you said, you watch squirting compilations and stuff like that. So I mean, sure. I get that. And I do some of that in terms of like I said, car crashes or things like that. World's dumbest fucking drivers, like shit like that. Mm-hmm. Hardest college hits in football. I have gone in and watched things like that. Absolutely. Now here's one I think is interesting. 16, news and journalism. And as we've said many a times, get your information from different fucking places, not the same place. And because like the algorithm, if you are watching one outlet, the algorithm drives that, and then that's the only place you get your fucking information from. I don't necessarily know if it falls into this category, because the weird thing about YouTube is like if you watch something, they will also send you other videos, not necessarily by the same thing. Like if you're watching, I'm assuming like Metallica videos, they'll send you other metal videos. And I don't know if their news and journalism algorithm, if you just watch Fox News, are you only going to get Fox News, or is it going to send you just other news?
Yeah.
related?
I mean, I think this is where sometimes when you look at the channel description, it has some tags of like news, entertainment, music, for example. Like I guess you would say I follow the equivalent of like metal music news. So like
that Pantera is going to be touring.
Right. And then the follow-up is, who are
you haven't heard this, Mac?
Who are the likely
going to be touring after 20 years.
Really?
I wonder who's going to be filling.
Who's going to be the guitarist?
I can tell you if you'd like to know.
I may have to go Google that and see if I'll share the link if I find it.
Yeah,
thank you.
Do.
We appreciate it. Fucking asshole. I think we just spoke right over you, Grinch. I apologize, but it was too easy. It's too good to pass up.
That was worth it.
17, I don't get. What is this? Is this like if you're a yogi?
Lifestyle, yeah.
Vegan, is that what that is? Like if you're one of that type of individual where it's following a specific lifestyle whilst forming a community. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
because it says I've already mentioned Zoella as makeup and beauty channel. Okay,
right.
Then what does that have to do with a lifestyle? It's a lifestyle related to beauty, so they fall into multiple categories. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is. I imagine there's a lot of crossover into like hobbies.
Yes.
And things like that.
If you're a nerd, it's a lifestyle.
You relate to it because like, oh, this person's also big into hiking and animals or whatever. So right. I like seeing how they live their life. I don't
Number
know.
18, cooking.
That I get.
Yeah.
That I get.
I've done that. I've searched out stuff on YouTube for cooking.
I mean, I would throw in too like recipes and stuff because
drinks,
bartending. Yeah.
Absolutely. Infotainment. Now, admittedly, as we got towards the bottom of this list, I kind of waned in paying attention to really.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, you start getting to where there's a lot of crossover in the Venn diagram of channels.
Yes. Absolutely.
Man, that's a great callback.
Yes.
You don't tuck it in there as often, but you will try to find when you can.
Yeah, and this is another one I would say I hunt down when I'm trying to get smart on something of like, let's just say it was like, okay, we're gonna talk about the Battle of the Bulge. I get where this could be infotainment. If maybe it's a History Channel bit, or maybe it's somebody who's just really knowledgeable explaining using graphics. Because that's the other cool thing with the YouTube is now there's so much, there's so many different tools at your disposal to create some really slick videos that are, that are really informative.
Or you could just be like me and do it all yourself.
Yeah, that's true. This is definitely your bellywick.
Yeah. It doesn't do them any harm if they throw in some charismatic humor into the equation, though. Some of the most successful infotainment channels.
Oh, you're doing ASMR. I see what you're doing.
Thoughty 2, an infographic show. You like that? This one's going to be popular. We should just do a whole episode whispering.
Number 20 is travel. But you can only talk quietly.
That's right.
I've used the travel on YouTube a lot before.
It's like we're golf announcers. He's coming up to the third green. He's lining up his putt.
You either go to golfing greens or to libraries. That's all you can do.
What was that video? that video one time was where they did soccer announcers swapping up with golf announcers.
I think Robin Williams did like a little bit on that one time.
Yeah. Travel. Okay, so Mac, you use travel?
Yeah, we've used that before. Like if we're going places, or if we're looking to book like a hotel room at like a resort or something, we'll look at people, because obviously people have been there before. It's like give us a guided tour of the room that you've got, so we know okay, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Or once you get there, where do we want to go visit? So you can look up different things like that and kind of get the lay of the land.
I get that.
I guess I'm surprised it's as far down the list as it is.
Something just confused you.
No, I'm surprised it's as far down the list. When you see the things above it, it's like,
yeah, I felt like that would have been a little bit higher up the list. But when was this list taken? And kind of because obviously COVID impacted everybody's travel. Maybe people weren't traveling as much, so they weren't doing that. So who knows when the list was taken and kind of how they curated the list.
Well, 20 most popular YouTube channel types to start, July 15th, 2022.
Yeah, I liked the article because it was current. But I will say, there's a mention of it there. Some travel channels take their viewers in the form of vlogs, whilst others present their travels in high quality highlight videos. I mean, it's a bit of splitting hairs, but I guess I can see that there is there are splits in those genres. Of style.
Give me one second.
But I guess maybe dissecting the difference a little bit is I noticed on the vlogging it mentioned the wish you were here kind of aspect of you're sort of living a vacation vicariously through somebody else, as opposed to researching a little bit of like, hey, what can I expect if I go to Morocco? Some places just like you just have no reference point at all of like things to look out for, things to be aware of. This might be offensive, you've just never thought of it because you've never been there, but don't do this gesture or whatever.
It's interesting because of, I guess it falls either under travel or vlog. There is a channel that I do follow, and it's the only one of its type that I follow like this that would fall into those categories. And it's Sailing SV Delos. And I don't know how I stumbled on it, but it is a sailing channel. And the guy basically for 10 years has logged his travels sailing around the world. I mean, he has sailed hundreds of thousands of miles, and he basically gave up his life, quit his job, put everything into this boat, and that's all he does is just sail the world with his wife. And it's just like, I guess for me that was interesting because it's like you're out on the like that's a whole different lifestyle, right? He sails on like a 55-foot sailboat, and it is a different way of living, a different experience. It's not like, oh, I drove to the Grand Canyon, or I went to see Mount Rushmore or New York City. Like, you are doing something a lot of people don't do in terms of you are literally sailing the open ocean, and that's all you do. You sail from California to Australia, and then you would stay in Australia for a few months and take odd jobs to earn money to be able to pay to go to the next location. And that's all they would do. And so to me, that was interesting because it is such a wild separation from like a normal lifestyle versus like, I'm going to Paris, so here's the places to stay. Like, I mean, I get it, but it was being such a dynamically different approach to a life that I was like, okay, this is interesting to me. And do I watch every video? No. I mean, it's definitely not one of those where I'm like glued to every time they're posting a video. I'm like, I got to watch this and just fucking eat it up. But it is interesting because it is just a different way of living. So,
yeah. I do just want to mention, I don't know if you'll post a link to this or not, but all this information came from out of the 925.com, most popular YouTube channel types by David Wouterson. So just giving him credit.
Wonder how much it takes to go into that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like to do the research, to look into these.
Yeah. I mean, again, the setup for this article was a bit of like, know the lay of the land in the event you're looking to get into this. Because as he closes out, the growth of the platform is constantly increasing. Newer generations are always joining the platform while existing users get older. This means that interests change. So you always have the possibility of starting a brand new YouTube channel and being successful. I hope this article has inspired you.
And now YouTube has really gotten in it, because of TikTok, what was Vine, right? And then TikTok came along. Now YouTube even does the YouTube shorts. I'm thinking about starting my own little short called Cock Talk. I'll just leave that one there and let your mind run away with it. But now YouTube has short form videos where it's like a minute or less or whatever, like Instagram does that, right? With theirs, because they're trying to compete with TikTok. So, it's kind of got something for everybody ultimately, right? That's what we're saying in terms of YouTube and their content. Yeah. They've got something for everybody. You know what? At the end of the day, gentlemen, I appreciate you guys being here and talking about this. YouTube is a platform that's got something for everybody, good, bad, or indifferent. What you make of it is kind of your own thing. Like I said at the outset of this episode, I didn't really use YouTube for much of anything. And then Grinch, once you mentioned, oh, well, just check out this gamer. And admittedly in my head, I was like, this is fucking stupid. Why am I doing this? And then I watched it and I was almost instantly hooked. It was just like, I get it. But I watch it for a different reason in terms of the entertainment value. I'm not watching because I'm trying to learn how he plays. I'm not trying to learn how to do something. Because admittedly, good. Is he that good? I don't know, but he's entertaining. But it's got something for everybody, and I think that's the draw for the platform. But I appreciate you guys being here. And if anybody's out there and you would love to just clue me in as why Ask Me Your videos are so goddamn popular, I still want to know. I'm still lost. I'm still clueless. I mean, I can whisper into a microphone, but I don't think it's going to give me 10 million viewers. But who knows? Maybe. Maybe not.
So you should give it a try just to see.
I will. You know what? I'll put out an episode and just fuck it. Let's find out. All right. So you know what? As always, thank you for being here. Feel free to check us out at aspiritoddebate.com. You can find all of our videos, all of the drinks that we have here. Drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. Please tell me why Ask Me Your videos are so popular. Or you can hit us up at the4horsemen@aspiritoddebate.com. Drop us a line there as well. Hit us up on email. A drink you'd like us to try, a topic you'd like us to debate. Maybe we can get you on and you can come on and talk about whatever the topic is. We'd love to do that with you. As always, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. We do have a YouTube channel. It has not been updated in quite some time because people are busy and shit happens and life gets in the way. Because I'm one of those lazy YouTubers that just expect shit to happen. Look, at the end of the day, for those of you that think you want to start a career in fucking YouTubing, it is work. From filming, creating the content, from coming up with an idea to filming it, to getting it edited and to getting it out there. It is work. So it just does not happen. Little Mac, if you were going to do it, you got to put in the grind. Just saying.
And I haven't seen the video. I just saw that Mr. Waffle Waffles did a video called Things I've Learned About YouTube from 13 years of being on the platform.
Right.
I would imagine if you want to start something, it'd be an interesting video to watch with him just talking about creating content, how often he's on, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's even the ridiculous nature of the thumbnail that you post is critical to getting views.
Yeah. I mean, and having watched him live when they're tackling brand new Easter eggs and zombies, he goes from recording straight into making the video. And that's what he did the last couple of times, of creating the video for the Easter egg, like live.
Right. And how
so
much
you can
effort
see
that is.
him moving stuff around and working with his team. You know, I say team, I don't know, it may be one person, but
right.
You know, clipping things, you know, re-recording audio if he needs to clarify if he messed up something. I mean, you know, you gotta, if it's a one man, one woman show, like you got to have the mental stamina
and the time and the absolute time. Absolutely. All right, gentlemen. Well, I appreciate it. All you listeners out there, feel free to check us out week in and week out. We'd love to have you jump into the studio with us sometime and talk to us. But as always, gentlemen, sorry Haas is not here. It was great doing this with you, and I look forward to doing this next week. So thank you.
Likewise.
Thank you.
The views, information, or opinions expressed during the A Spirited Debate podcast series or any affiliated podcast are solely those of the hosts or guests involved and do not represent those of people, institutions, or organizations that the hosts or guests may or may not be associated with in a professional or personal capacity, unless explicitly stated. While guests are invited to listen, listeners acknowledge that they are not being provided professional advice from the podcast or its guests. The content within the parameters of A Spirited Debate podcast series or any affiliated podcast are for entertainment and educational purposes only. Any views or opinions are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, or individual.